Sorry, I know it's weird. I'm just recording myself to make sure that I'm presenting the best that I can. All right. Is this full screen? Is this full screen?
I think you can.
Okay, never mind. You guys see everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me put this aside. All right. So before we sort of get into Instagram and how to grow your following and all that tootsie-footsie stuff, I just want to tell you a little bit about my journey and how I came about to actually be a henna artist. So about 4 years ago, I had a soul-searching trip with my mom and my aunt to, I said Morocco, right? Did I say that already? Okay. So we went to Morocco, and then there was just henna patterns all around us, and we had women approach us to do henna, and I grew up in a culture where henna was part of our tradition and part of our culture. I'm from Egypt, if nobody knows. But anyway, so my aunt actually used to be a henna artist back in the day. She's not anymore, she's retired. So she kind of incepted this little idea in my head, because I always had like this little artist in me. So she incepted the idea, like, why don't you pick up this craft? And it really resonated with me, and I didn't let go. So when I went back home, Google and YouTube became my best friends. So I just searched my little heart away on how I can perfect how I can make my henna recipe and how I can actually design where I can buy henna from and all that stuff. And that's basically how the journey started. And then I moved to Boston, did a little bit of henna here and there, and then I moved here. And I worked actually at Richmond Hill, like literally right here. So Atia, if we were friends back then, I probably would have passed by you because my job was literally like right here. I used to work as a graphic designer and head of marketing for a software company, but I hated my life. It was just soul-sucking. I hated every minute of it, and I was commuting back and forth an hour and a half, so that's like 3 hours of my day. And my mind, my heart, my soul was just all on henna, right? So one day I just quit on an impulse. It was the worst decision, but best decision that I've made. At the time, it was just not the best time. But anyway, so I was in a sink or swim situation, right? Where it's like I have to go all in building the henna business and getting clients. And I was still struggling. I was still struggling to get clients. I was still struggling to make ends meet. Obviously, it's not a business if you're not making money, right? It's just an expensive hobby. Like I had bills to pay, I have rent, I have hydro, I have internet bills, I have Nutella jars that I have to pay for. So I just really went all in on how I can best utilize Instagram to leverage business growth and to get clients, because I saw other people who are just rocking it on Instagram, and I was figuring, what is it that I don't know? What is it that these people have figured out that I am not aware of? So I just became totally obsessed, which is why, now I am thankfully filled with the Instagram knowledge that I need in order to leverage the growth, in order to get clients, in order to get followers, and all that good stuff. And thankfully, it worked. And now I'm teaching you guys on how you can do the same for yourselves. Okay, so I want you to just all to take a couple of minutes, and I just gave out these little cards on who is your dream client or who is your dream customer. So just take a few minutes and fill that out. And I'll signal back once we get started again. Just need to drink some water. Does anyone have any idea how I can enlarge the screen? Double click?
No, but the bar on top isn't showing, so if you just scroll
I don't know.
It's PDF. Just, yeah, there. And the green button.
Or
Green.
just shift plus.
Oh,
Green. Oh, okay, now.
did the opposite.
Oh, then it's your, it's your 100% in the middle where your numbers are. No, press the green again, sorry. I'm like navigating you horribly.
No, that's okay.
But in the middle of the page, above your pictures. Like, yeah, there.
No, that's the page.
Is that the page or is that the
that's
zoom?
No, on the side there's a magnifying glass, like on
There.
No, on the other side, like under the share button. Oh,
Hold on. Can I
Okay,
just come
that's
around?
fine. We'll just make do.
It's PDF though, like it should. Command and plus.
Yeah, that's the
Cool.
shortcut. You hit command,
Command.
Apple, and the plus.
Oh, here.
Do the zoom.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right,
awesome.
or just
Zoom.
fit to page.
Yeah.
Or fit with, probably.
What if you move the screen closer?
Oh, that's
Okay,
There.
this works. That's fine.
Yeah.
This works, yeah, this works. You guys can see, yeah?
Yeah.
Can you tell that my aunt has some henna on here?
Yeah.
You know, it's not that visible, but what do you guys think of these pictures? Oh, I really miss Morocco. Alright, so
Just gonna go.
are you guys good? Filled your cards out? Because this is really important, okay? It's going to matter in a second. Alright. Alright. So, I want you to know that whether you have 1 follower or 100,000 followers, you are already making an impact. Okay? So I want you to think about it like this. How many followers do you have?
Only like 385.
Only like 385. Imagine being in a room of 385 people. Would you say that? I only have 385.
Probably.
Exactly. So don't discredit the amount of followers that you have, okay? These followers are actual human beings who raised their hands, who actually appreciated your work in terms of following you. They want to see more of your work. They're invested in you, okay? So don't ever discredit that. 1 follower or 100,000 followers, it does not matter. And here's something that a lot of people are not really aware of, and I know this is a common question that I get every single day in my DMs and my emails is, how can I get more followers? I want more followers. Why? Why do you want more followers? Why does that matter? Anyone?
Ego.
Ego? What else?
Because people have this notion that more followers automatically means more exposure, more business, more money.
Exactly.
But it's really.
It is actually not true. It's not true. I actually, literally last week, I'm not kidding, I had someone reach out to me. She had 150,000 followers, and she was asking me, how can I get more clients? So followers doesn't matter, okay? What really matters is, I'm going to tell you that answer in a second. Okay? So, I will tell you, I'm trying to keep you on your toes. All right, so in order to understand how to best use Instagram to your benefit is by understanding the Instagram algorithm. So, what does an algorithm mean? Does anyone know? Go ahead.
It's just the process in which something works. So
Okay.
computers have algorithms. Google has an algorithm.
Yes.
So what you input into Google has an algorithm as to what it spits back out.
Exactly. That's perfectly it.
Yeah,
What?
similar. Something that solves an issue, basically, like a program.
Yes,
that solves it.
that's exactly it. So basically what an algorithm is that the little coders on Instagram are probably shoved away in their little computer labs coding, right, and feeding in mathematical equations in Instagram to reward certain behaviors and discredit certain behaviors. So you really need to understand how the algorithm operates in order to get it to work in your favor, okay? So again, the algorithm will determine how much you will get rewarded on the platform. And what do I mean by rewarded? Basically, Instagram will determine how many people are going to see your content or how many people your content is going to be pushed out to. I don't know if you guys are aware, but there's this rumor that your feed, right, or your photos that you're posting, only 6% actually see your content, okay?
I've heard that so many times.
Yeah.
People are making big posts about it very, very seriously.
Yeah.
Please repost this because only 7% of
Are
your
seeing the
followers will see
content.
it. Like, is that really true? Like,
That's a rumor, right? And Instagram actually never confirmed nor denied it. So it is a rumor. However, you still need to understand the algorithm well in order to get it to work in your benefit, okay? So remember what I said, followers don't matter, but what does matter? Can anyone give a guess?
The right
Content, hashtags.
Engagement.
Thank you, Eureka, engagement. That's it. Engagement over followers, okay? I'm not talking about the ring on your finger. Alright? So, what matters is engagement. Getting people to engage with you, getting them to interact with you, getting them to comment, you need to cultivate relationships on the platform. You need to use Instagram in the way that it's intended to be used. And the reason why Instagram was created is because it wanted to establish a network, right? It's just like Atia said, it's building a community. That's why engagement is way more important than the amount of followers that you have, than the content that you're going to be posting. None of that matters as long as you are getting engagement. So, to what you were saying, Homa?
Yes.
Am I pronouncing your name right? Okay. So a way to really boost that engagement is by showing more of yourself. I know it's squeamish, but you'll get over it, I promise, okay? So
So much of myself.
you know, I have this rule. I'm pretty private, so I don't like sharing you know, my life to the world. Like I had a personal page. I never shared content on there, like ever. I only use Instagram for business purposes. But basically, I make it a rule to post at least one photo of myself on my Henna page for every 9 photos that you see. Okay? That's just a general rule of thumb that worked for me. It could work for you. Who knows? But anyway, so a healthy engagement rate is for you to have 2 to 3% in proportion to the number of followers that you currently have. Okay, so you said that you have 385 followers. So does anyone know how to do fast math?
Depends on the type of math.
2 or 3% of 385.
8 or 10.
Okay, so if 12 people? All right, so if 12 people liked your photo, you've already achieved that. And here's something, the smaller your following is, the easier it is for you to boost up your engagement. The bigger your followers, the more challenging it is for you to boost your engagement. So if you have a small following, you're already ahead of the game without even knowing. What's so funny?
I'm looking at Emma's reaction.
I was just
She's
like,
Yeah. It's challenging, right? Because you have what, like 75,000 or something?
78.
78,000.
79.
So yeah, so
I
for
don't even
Emma, it's gonna be way more challenging for her to boost her engagement. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's gonna be way more challenging than someone who has a much smaller pool of followers. Okay. So if you want to calculate your engagement rates, there is this link right here that you can go to, and it will automatically calculate it for you. But I would be cognizant because it's a free tool. Okay. It's actually in your worksheet. I have it, yeah, so don't worry about snapshotting or anything. It's actually in the worksheet. But anyway.
So you type that on Instagram?
I'm sorry?
You type that on Google or Instagram search?
No, neither. Just on like a browser or. Yeah. So just type in that link, okay? And then you insert your Instagram handle or your Instagram name, and it will automatically tell you what your engagement rate is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, I would just be cognizant because it's a free tool and you can only do this 3 times. So be sure to use yours the first time, and then the second 2 times you can see a competitor if you want, just to give you a little ballpark. Okay, so here's something really, really, really important. Instagram is a social media app. I want you to recognize the word social is in there, which means you have to be what?
Social.
All together. You have to be what?
Social.
Thank you. Okay? You gotta be social. I want you to implement this in the real world, in real life. Let's say I'm an immigrant. I just moved here to Canada 3 years ago, and I go to a networking event, or I go to a party in an attempt to get to know new people. How would you feel, or would I be approached if I'm sitting very quietly here in the corner and I'm not talking to anyone, and I'm really hoping that people pay attention to me and hi, oh my god, I'm here, please talk to me. That's not gonna work, right? You have to read the room, you have to use your body language, you have to crack a few jokes, you have to introduce yourself. That's how you're gonna get to know people. You're gonna have to ask questions. And that's what you need to do on the Instagram platform as well, okay? So you need to be engaging, and I'm gonna be repeating this word over and over again until you're absolutely sick of it, because it's very crucial on the platform. The more engaging yourself, the more engagement that you are inviting, okay? And we're gonna talk a little bit more later on how you can boost your engagement. So I want you to have a look at the little sheet that I gave out to you again. And let's see, who do I pick? Nazia, why don't you tell me, who is your dream customer, or who is your dream client?
She was like very good. She already was like 2 years ago.
Okay.
She was my bride.
Okay.
After her, she was like very appreciative of it. And then her whole family was leather artists.
Okay, her whole family. So
They
what
have,
kind of? What
I'm
kind
their
of?
artist now.
Sorry.
I'm their artist now for the whole family now.
Okay. Okay.
So I mean, they were like they love natural henna,
Mhm.
and they did not give me any trouble for anything. They were like, "This is thing. Let us know what you charge and anything. That's it."
Okay. Awesome. Amazing.
That's the
Amazing.
first, their own one.
Basically, return
After all these years.
Okay, that's awesome. You said return customers. Okay. What else? Give me a little bit more.
Henna lovers, so
Henna
people
lovers?
who love the art or who can relate to it.
Okay. Go ahead.
Someone who comes to you because they like your designs and not because they just want you to recreate something else's.
Amazing. That's a very good point. Anyone else? Go ahead.
People who like appreciate what you're doing and not just like getting
Yeah.
it done for the sake of getting it done.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we all get those, right? We all get the price shoppers. We all get the people who are nitpicky and they want things done their way rather than giving you the creative freedom, right? So a very, very, very common mistake that I see a lot of artists making and a lot of business owners making is that they are not defining who their audience is. Okay, so you all brought up amazing points. You want people to appreciate your work. You probably don't want price shoppers. You don't want people who are not appreciative of the art that you're producing. But you need to be more specific. Like niche it down. Be as specific as possible. There's no such thing as being too specific. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Oh, before then, I want you to know that when you are trying to reach everyone, you are actually reaching no one at all. Okay. We're not Nutella. No, not everyone is gonna love us. Anyone here doesn't like Nutella, by the way? You guys are crazy.
I absolutely sorry, but I hate it with a passion.
I'm sorry to have allergic to nuts, so it's had hazelnuts. I can't.
You guys are missing out.
I
You
can't.
guys are missing out.
It's not
All right, what about pizza? Is that a more common thing that people love?
Pizza.
Pizza? Okay. You're not pizza. Not everybody's gonna love you. Okay? You need to identify who your audience is, okay? And narrow it down. Target one person and one person only. So let's take a look at music, right? Let's say you go up, you get to know a new musician, right? And you ask them, like, what do you do? They're probably not going to say, I do music. They're probably going to specify, I play jazz music, or I play metal music, or whatever that looks like, right? So there are many different, you can't see, many different genres of music. There's jazz, there's pop, there's country, there's R&B, whatever. What are your music preferences? Folk? Who said folk? Folk? What else? So what, like, oh my god, I forgot their name. Oh shoot, I forgot their name. Okay, alright. Who else? Like, Julia Stone. What are they called? Oh my god, I forgot. It'll come to me. Okay. Sorry?
The Weird Sisters.
The Weird
I listen to
Sisters.
CBC and PBS or like NPR, so.
Oh, that's good though.
Kind of stuff.
That's good though. Alright, what other music genres do people like over here?
Dubstep.
Dubstep. Oh my god, I can't. Not for me. Alright, who doesn't like dubstep?
I don't know what it is.
Alright. Okay, don't look it up. It's not that good. I'm sorry. I'm sending you my love though.
I'll be over here grooving.
Yeah.
Dropping.
But basically, this is just to show you that even though music is such a wide genre, right, it's still an art, you can still go specific, right? And even in jazz, there are different types of jazz. Even in pop, there are different types of pop. So even with henna art, it's like that. There are different kinds of henna art. There's bridal, there's festival henna, there is prenatal, there is henna crown. So there's an assortment of henna. There's boudoir, right? So there's an assortment of henna art out there, and you need to specify which henna designs do you like doing, okay? And I want you to only work with clients that you want to work with, okay? No more of the artists, the clients who are price shopping, no more of the artists who are trying to cut and nickel and dime you, right? We only want you to work with the kind of designs that you want to do with the kind of clients that you want to work with, okay? So I want you to take a look. Back in the day, this was a year and a half ago, maybe less, what my Instagram feed used to look like. So it is extremely sporadic. I'm not talking to anyone, right? You see a bridal design, you see a bunch of cookies in there, you see glam tattoos, you see a back design, you see, right? It's very sporadic. It's not talking to anyone, and therefore it wasn't attracting anyone either, because I was trying to spread myself too thin, because I was just trying to get my hands on any client at all. And what did that do for me? Nothing. I didn't get clients. I definitely didn't get followers. It didn't do anything for me. However, when I came to really niche it down and specify, all right, Nadine, what kind of designs do you like to do? I realized that I really love to take my time with designs. I like to spend hours upon hours doing a henna design. I like to get to know my clients. I love communicating. I love talking to new people. It's one of the reasons why I moved to Canada, because it's very multidisciplinary. It's very cultural. So I love to get to know people from all walks of life, from all different cultures, right? So it just clicked with me. I want to do bridal. I just want to work with South Asian brides. I don't want to do any kind of other henna designs ever, okay? So I identify my dream customer as a South Asian bride, but that's still not specific enough. So you really need to dive on deep. So what kind of brides do I want to work with? What kind of South Asian brides? So you have to identify the demographics just as much as you identify the psychographics. And don't worry, I'm going to tell you what that means. So demographics are the factual data. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to identify the factual data, things like female or male, age, where they live, right? Their income level, their educational background. So what that looked like for me, obviously brides or females or not, like no judgment, from a South Asian background, they're probably mid to high income earners, and they're in their mid-20s to early 30s. But what's more important is for you to understand the psychographics. And what the psychographics means is understanding their psyche. So things like she values traditions. She shops at South Asian wedding stores. She loves to read wedding magazines. She spends a lot of time online on Pinterest, pinning from different boards to create her dream wedding, right? Creating different boards for her dream wedding. She wants to have a lavish wedding, right? So understanding the psychographics is bringing you a step closer and understanding the kind of clients that you should be serving, which therefore gives you a better understanding of knowing how to establish a relationship. So for instance, when I identified a South Asian bride who is a mid to high income earner, I found this I found this store of a fashion designer. I don't know if you guys heard of her. Her name is Manny K. Giselle. Has anyone heard of her before? Anyway, you have? Nazia? Yeah. So her store is in Yorkville, which is a 20-minute walk from where I live, and her kind of clientele is the exactly kind of clients that I am targeting. So this gives me a better understanding. Okay, maybe I should partner with her, or maybe I should do a collaborative promotion with her, right? So understanding your market or understanding the psychographics of your dream client will give you much better insight of where to direct your efforts and where you should advertise if you're going to put money down for advertisements, or what kind of content you should be producing, right? Testing to your claimers of not knowing what to post is going to give you a better understanding of what kind of posts to add on Instagram to attract those clients, okay? That's why you really need to understand the psychographics. So I'm going to ask again, now knowing this, who is your dream client? Do you want to take that?
I'm actually on the opposite spectrum. I rather have.
Exactly.
Can I not be like politically correct with my words?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. I rather white, young, probably the same age group, middle to high income earners, small tattoos, quick, easy,
and that just brings me to my point exactly, that it's a spectrum, right? Not all henna art is the same, just like not all music is the same. You prefer doing small designs. I hate doing small designs. It's just not worth my time for me, right? But it's probably worthy for you. So that's what I mean. Really identify who your audience is, because everything in your business is going to be based on this. This is the building block of your entire henna business. Is that good so far? Go ahead, Tara.
What if you like to do a lot of different?
Can you give me examples?
Well, I like to do bellies. I like to do crowns. I like to do private weddings. I like to do parties and events. I don't like to do bridal. Though.
Yeah.
Right.
So I like to do all the other stuff.
Yeah. So what I would recommend, because I also love to do prenatal henna, I admire doing it, but what I would say if you really want to scale and blow up quickly is niche it down for one audience only, and once you get that momentum, then you can branch out into different things. So I'm just going to give you a brief example here. Initially, my ideal client was a South Asian bride. Ironically, I don't do South Asian brides anymore. I shifted into teaching, right? Now I teach henna artists, so my ideal customer right now are henna artists like you. But I probably wouldn't have been able to shift to that unless I niched it down and got that momentum and serve, right? And attract those clients, and then I was able to branch out into different things. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you're saying that if you really focus on one type of client,
Yes.
you can branch out, but how? Then you start marketing yourself in towards those other people.
Yeah, so what happens is you start to get a better understanding of how you market, right? And marketing is one of the most important things in business. I spend 80%, if not 90% of my time for marketing purposes rather than the content itself or serving itself. But yeah, like, you just start to get a better flow of how to market, and then you also get a better understanding of how to build a brand, not just a business, right? You need a brand, not a business. And that's, I mean, thankfully, a lot of people commented on how my brand is very cohesive, you know, it's a lot of blues, so that really attracts people. So just, like, niching it down will allow you to blow up later. I hope that makes sense. Does it? Okay. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. All right, so once I identified that, I started to create content pieces like this, right? Very, very intentional. I posted more images that is going to attract that kind of clientele. So, Henna, you said that you want to do more festivals or more small pieces, right? So then for you, you need to plaster your Instagram feed with small designs. Don't mix it up. Narrow it down.
Like tattoo type designs, right? They're just faster. Yeah, they're smaller appointments, but
yeah. So that's the kind of content that you need to be posting. Whatever it is that you post out there is what you are going to attract. I mean, Emma, you said that you are a vegetarian, right?
Vegan.
Sorry, vegan. Are your friends vegan?
No.
None of your friends are vegan?
Some of them, yeah.
Some of them are vegan?
Yeah.
So what was my point? Oh my god, I forgot. Anyway, what I was saying is that you are a product of the 5 people around you. So whatever it is that you put out there is what you are going to attract. So Emma is vegan. Probably some of her friends are vegan, and that's the kind of people that she's going to hang around with, okay? So it's very adaptable to your life as well. Sorry about that. Okay? All right, so I'm just going to give you a few examples right here. So has anyone ever heard of Gypsy J Henna? If you don't, you should definitely follow her. Her work is amazing. But she does an amazing job at really identifying who her audience is. So when you look through her feed, you instantly can see that she is very intentional. She wants to attract people who are more of a hippie, bohemian, gypsy mentality. And her photos are plastered with those kinds of images with the crystals. And she has, can't see it here, see the little horse over here, right? And she has that like nice little bohemian hat. So whatever it is that you post is what you are going to attract. Same thing with Henna Luna Arts. Oh, by the way, in case you guys didn't know, I actually did an interview with Gypsy J Henna a few months ago, and she talked all about how to, since you were saying that you're having, I'm sorry, yeah, so you were saying that you were having problems with photos and things like that. So there's an interview online of Gypsy J Henna saying exactly how you can get good photos. So definitely check that out.
That looks like a lot of work. Like, honestly, I don't have time in my day to be setting up a photo shoot for an Instagram. Like,
yeah, so Gypsy J Henna is a photographer, so it's definitely a little bit more advanced, but I don't have time either. I'm not a photographer. I plan all my Instagram content in 2 days, and that gives me a month worth of content. I'm going to tell you how to do that, but later on in the presentation. But anyway, so Henna Luna Art also does an amazing job at this. Unfortunately, I never had the honor of meeting her, but through her feed, you can tell that she's more into edgy, sporty, more tattoo-like henna or haggle-like henna. She gets a lot of clients who want to test out a permanent tattoo design with henna or with hagwa. So she also does an amazing job at attracting that kind of clientele. So the bottom line is, Identify the demographics and the psychographics of your audience, because that's going to give you a better understanding of how to post and where to direct your marketing efforts and where to direct, which fairs to do, which festivals to do, which kind of key leaders in the industry that you need to connect with. Okay, and in the little worksheets in your in your booklets, there's going to be like a little exercise that's going to help you in identifying who that is for you. Okay, so your vibe attracts your tribe. I want you to say it with me. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Yes. Awesome. Oh, what happened? All right. Again, I'm going to repeat it. Whatever you post is what you are going to attract. Okay? You okay? Want some of my water? Okay. Okay. The second thing is you need to be intentional with your bio. Okay, so I want you to look at your bio kind of like your name to the world. All right, that is the first impression that you are setting, other than your feed, obviously. Okay, so in your bio, you need to someone needs to instantly know what your name is, where are you based, what are you offering. In that second, in that glance, remember, we are in a world of shiny object syndrome, and people don't pay attention. You lose people's attention pretty quickly. So in that instant, when somebody lands on your page, you need to have those things listed down. And here's a little hack that not a lot of people know, is that you can actually add a hashtag in your bio, and that way you would show up for that hashtag. So I was very specific in using Toronto Henna Artist, and that way people can find me, right? Potential customers can find me because I'm a Toronto Henna Artist, and therefore people who are looking for a henna artist in Toronto will find me. So that is a way to do it. Yes.
I have a question. So I actually went in to try to fine-tune my bio.
Yeah.
And it seems to me when I look at other people's bios, they seem to have more information, yet I'm only allowed a certain amount of information.
So many words, so many
You're
letters.
only allowed so many characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I reached my limit.
Yeah.
And then when I look at others, I feel like they have more. Am I incorrect? Or
Possibly, because it's a standard character limit for everyone.
Is it possible that when it first started, you were allowed more, or now it's
No. No. I think it's 120
I know what you're talking
characters.
about. Yeah.
Is limit?
Yes, I always try to change it and try to make it so that I can get the correct information in the correct order, and then it's always like, oh, you only have 5 characters left.
Yeah, it just seems like
So what-
really
refine it.
You can use emojis. Emojis usually shed off characters. So that's one way to do it, possibly. But yeah, I actually had a problem with that issue as well. Like I have to like really think about, okay, what do I want to eliminate and what do I want to keep? Yeah, for sure. Another thing I would recommend is call out exactly what it is that you're doing. So if you are doing, or if you want to do more brides, just say something like, I adorn beautiful brides on their date. Something like that, okay? To really grab someone's attention, or not just grab anyone's attention, but someone who is likely to be a customer, okay? That is how you grab their attention. Another thing that you should be doing, that I'm not seeing a lot of people doing, is that call out, give a call to action on what your link, or where your link is going to be directed to, okay? So maybe you have a YouTube tutorial, maybe you have a blog post, maybe you want people to visit your Facebook page, maybe you have a booking page. Just call out, like have a little icon right here pointing down and say, to see my new YouTube tutorial on Henna X or whatever, click here, okay? Call that out, because the fastest way to convert a follower into a customer is by directing them off of the app, off to your website, off to your booking page. So you want to make people, you want to increase the chances of people actually clicking on your link, okay? Any questions about that? Okay, good. All right, next thing is you need to narrow down your Instagram theme. And I know this is a major struggle for a lot of people. I know I struggled a lot with it at first, but identify your theme. So as you can see in my feed, if, God, this full screen thing is annoying. Yes, I did it. Okay, all right, so, I don't know why it's chopped up. But anyway, as you can see in my theme, it's obviously pretty evident that my branding is, my branding colors are teal and white, and I wanted to incorporate my branding colors into the theme. So you'll see that one block photo is white, sorry, one block photo is teal, one block photo is white. One is teal, one is white, one is teal, one is white. And that way it's also balanced. They're not all compressed in a teal image or in a white image, okay? And Emma actually does an amazing job at you scared me. Emma actually does an amazing job in this, and you don't necessarily have to incorporate colors because I know it's a bit tricky, especially if you're working on different clients and you're taking photos from different backgrounds and different settings. I know it's a challenge, but you can get creative with it. Emma, what she does is she posts three images of the same design from different angles, and that way she has a theme, with it being absolutely effortless. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to have one color that's predominant throughout your entire theme. You just gotta get creative with it, okay? So, little pop quiz for you guys. I don't know if you can see or not. All right, little pop quiz. On average, how long does it take for someone to decide whether to follow you or not when they land on your page?
3 seconds.
Who says 3 seconds? Any other answers? Any other guesses? 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Okay. Nobody for 30 seconds, huh? Okay. Drum roll. Give me a drum roll. 3 seconds! Oh my god, see how short that is? 1, 2, 3. Already gone. Poof. So you really want to grab their attention quickly, okay? Remember, goldfish memory, shiny object syndrome. So you want to grab them in as quickly as possible. That's so funny.
That was great.
Right? So having a theme is going to encourage people to stick around. It's going to encourage people to click that follow button when they find you, okay? So here is one way you can create your theme, or a starting point at least. I don't know if you guys are aware. Do you guys know how Pinterest works, or how Pinterest is? Anyone on Pinterest? Okay. You're on it. Okay. Anyone else?
I don't
You're,
get it.
You don't pen?
I don't get it.
You're on Pinterest. Okay. Anyone else? You're on Pinterest? Okay. All right, cool. So people, I don't know if people are aware of this, but you kind of have a Pinterest feature in Instagram yourself. And you can create collections that only you can see, okay? So you can save images and save it into different collections, which are like mood boards on Pinterest, but on Instagram it's called collections. And you can create different collections and save images that you see on your feed. Okay, so in my collections, I have photography inspiration, I have roses, I have, what's it called? I have figures, because I'm not very good at drawing figures. So I have all kinds of things that helps me with my inspiration. So Instagram can be a very resourceful tool for you. So you can create a board, or you can create a collection of images that you like, okay? As you're scrolling through your feed, just make sure to save them. And by the end of the week, if you don't know how to save images, you'll see this little bookmark, this little tag icon. You just click on that, and sorry? Yeah. So you just click on that, and it will, like a little thing will pop up, save to collection, and then you can just click whichever collection that you have, okay? And just do this for an entire week, like when we leave today, make it a point to do this every day for the next 7 days, okay? And then by the end of the week, here's what I want you to do. I want you to analyze. Look very intently and look very carefully through the images you saved. Analyze. Is there a commonality between these images? Is there a similarity? Do you find that more green photos are attracting you, or more, I don't know, more people, like humans, are attracting you rather than actual just hands or design, like generic design? What is common amongst those images? And that can be a starting point in giving you a better understanding of how you can create your own theme. Okay? Yep. Someone has a question? I saw my hand raised. Maybe I'm imagining. All right. So another way you can do it is by figuring out your branding colors. I find that that's the easy way, for me at least, is just find out what your branding colors are and stick it out throughout your theme, okay? And you don't necessarily have to do it like me, where it's like very evidently blue or very evidently white, but just make sure that your branding color is somewhere in the photo, some way, somehow, even if it's really, really, really subtle. And I'm going to show you an example of how I do it in one of my images, okay? Another thing is figure out your editing style. How do you edit your photos? Make sure to edit your photos all the same way, by just implementing the same filter in all of your images, or making all your photos dark, or making all your photos bright, or making all your photos very simple, or making all your photos very colorful, okay? So just figure out what that looks like for you. All right, so yeah. So the images that you see on my feed are very polished. They're very, very polished, and they're very, very intentional. So as you can see in the before shots, it doesn't really go with my theme, right? So I just edited it. I made it a little bluer. I also colored this little part right here, made it teal. I added that little gold. And I also cleaned up, as you can see in the mirror, it's a little smudgy. So I cleared it up in the mirror in there. So whatever you see on Instagram, it's a very finalized product. It's a very curated product. It's very intentional. So when you come to shoot a photo, I don't want you to shoot a photo and just post it and just slap on one filter and then you're done for the day. Take some time. Take some time to edit it. Take some time to style it, okay? Because that stuff really matters on Instagram. And unfortunately, I know your mother probably raised you telling you never to judge a book by its cover, but on Instagram, you have to judge a book by its cover, okay? All right, so these are some of the apps that I use and personally recommend. And here's the kicker. They are all for free, okay, that you can download on your phone. So there's Adobe Lightroom, there's Facetune, there's Snapseed, and there's also another one I should have listed in there. It's called Visco, V-S-C-O, okay? And believe it or not, I use every single image that I edit. I use each and every single app for some sort of tool, okay? So one image goes on 4 different apps for me to edit, okay? But because, Paula, you were mentioning that you don't have time to do that stuff.
I don't want to either. I don't care, so I don't want to spend my time doing that.
Yeah, I hear you. But because I have a system, because I have an editing process, so I shoot all my content in one day, and then I edit all the good stuff, so I make sure that I'm shooting more than one photo. So if I have maybe a design on my hand, okay, I'm going to shoot that design in a million different ways. And you will probably never be able to tell that it's the same design just because I've changed the outfit, or I've changed the angle, or I've changed something. I probably held the flower instead of having bracelet, like whatever, right? But you are, yes.
I was just gonna ask what
Yes.
camera do you use?
My phone. Yes. All my photos on my Instagram feed are shot with my iPhone. And I have this phone right here. So this is the newer phone, but not even a year ago, 6 months ago, I had the iPhone 6S, and that's the one I shot with. So I don't want you to get caught up in saying I don't have a good camera or I don't have a good phone. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You just need a creative eye. That's it. So again, as I was saying, can you see? Yeah. So as I was saying, oh my God, where was I?
So you shoot on one day.
Yes, thank
Multiple.
you. Yes. So so I shoot all my content in one day, okay? And then the next day, I will take all the photos that I've liked. I will just select the good ones, and I will edit those photos. I will plan them out a month. I have a month's worth of content, and therefore I'm not worried about what to post and when to post it. Did you have a question? Sorry, your hand raised. Okay. All right. So all good so far? All right. So remember. Sorry about that. So remember earlier when I said, if you don't know what theme you want, but at least you know what your branding colors are, incorporate that color some way, somehow in the photo. So as you can see here, I have that little teal in the ring. That's it. That's it. That's all you need to do. Just have a pop of your color in the photo somewhere. And it's super, super, super tiny, but it really makes that big impact. And by the way, this ring is this ring right here. Can you see? It's a white ring. It's not even teal. I just colored it. That's it. Okay? So that way, that photo makes sense alone, but also it makes sense in the entire feed. Okay? It still fits in the entire feed. Okay? All right. Who was talking to me about hashtags earlier? Who was asking about hashtags? Who was that?
I'm coming.
Alright, so hashtag, I'm sorry, Nazia. Alright, so hashtags. This is actually the way that people find you on Instagram. And a lot of people think that for you to use hashtags, is for you to use popular hashtags. Cut it out. Popular hashtags are not going to get you found, okay? So hashtags like hashtag henna, that has 7.7 million results. Can you believe competing with 7.7 million other images using that hashtag? Is there any way that you're going to get ranked for that?
No.
Probably not, right? So you want to be specific. Remember how I said you can never be too specific? Be specific, okay? And also another common mistake that people are making is that they're using, is that they're using hashtags that other henna artists are using, right? Stop using those. Use hashtags that your potential customers are going to be using. So customers are probably not going to be searching hashtag henna stain. They're probably not going to be searching hashtag, I don't know, what kind of hashtags do a lot of henna artists? Henna cones, right? But they're going to be using hashtags like, again, it all depends on who your dream customer is. So if I'm targeting South Asian brides, I'm going to be using hashtags like hashtag Brampton hairstylist, because that's the kind of hashtag, because a lot of South Asian brides are probably looking for hairstylists in Brampton, right? In that area. Be specific with the hashtags that you're using and make sure that you're using hashtags that customers are using, not other henna artists, okay? So 50,000 to 200,000 results is your sweet spot. So when you go home today, here's what I want you to do. I want you to narrow down the hashtags that you're using. So in the Instagram search bar, just type in potential hashtags. So you can start with hashtag henna stain or hashtag henna design and see their suggested that is coming up and just write down the hashtags that has 50 to 200,000 results. Anything beyond 200,000 results is just not worthy of your time, okay? So you can use specific hashtags like Toronto henna artist or hashtag Toronto Indian wedding if you want South Asian brides. Obviously, Nazia, that's probably a kind of hashtag that you would use, okay? Another thing is, let's say you don't want to do brides, you want to do pregnant women, you want to do more prenatal henna design. So obviously you can use the hashtag prenatal design, but also use hashtags that pregnant women are using. They're probably using hashtags like hashtag third trimester, or hashtag mommy to be, or hashtag mommy and me, or hashtag belly blessing, or hashtag pregnant photo, okay? So be mindful, the hashtags that you use needs to be the hashtags that people are actively searching for of your potential customers. That's the only thing that matters, okay?
So not necessarily what the picture is, but what...
No, you also have to be mindful that it's paired or aligned. Sorry?
So it's related to the picture?
Yes, it does need to be related to the photo, but at the same time, don't get caught up in using hashtags that your peers would be using because potential customers are not going to be actively looking for that hashtag. So yeah, so just make sure that it's paired with the photo some way, somehow.
So like your picture is going to pop up when they search those hashtags and you want your picture to pop up in those certain hashtags.
Yeah, exactly. Okay? All right, I actually have a free Instagram hashtags guide that you guys can download. It's on my website. So here's the link, hennaproject.net/freebies. And this will give you like a much deeper and more profound explanation of how to use hashtags and how to search hashtags that your potential customers are searching for. Okay? Because I can talk an hour about hashtags, but we only have an hour for the session, so we want to be mindful of the time. Remember engagement? What? Oh. All right. So engagement. So how can you boost your engagement on the platform? It's by being the engager, but also by being the engaged. And don't worry, this is all going to make sense in a minute. So being the engager means that you are inviting conversation, okay? That you are being a conversation starter. And how you can do that is through your captions and through your Instagram stories, okay? So here are a few examples. Again, when I was targeting South Asian brides, here is one of the captions that I wrote. As a bride, what would you get most excited about your wedding? A, accessorizing and dressing up like a total princess. B, getting to eat all that amazing food. C, spending the rest of your life with the person you love. Or D, a big and happy reunion with all your family and loved ones. Comment below with your top answer. That's it. That's all I did. I initiated a conversation. I became a conversation starter. what are you more likely to comment on? Are you more likely to comment on a picture like this or a picture that says, a new henna design that I did on a bride last year? Which one are you going to comment on more? Exactly. Okay? And you also want to make it easy for them. You want to make it fun for them. Okay? Again, you always have to think about your dream customer and how you speak to them and how you can get them engaged. Okay? So here's one example. I'm going to give you a few others. So here's another image. This actually was one of my most popular posts. And I was quite surprised. It had 88 comments. And all I said was, comment love in your own language. Since I'm an Arabic speaker, we say hope. Your turn. That's it. It got 88 comments because people want to leave their mark. They want to share their culture. They want to, it all adds up to the human element that I was talking about earlier. Okay? So this got 88 comments. It was absolutely bonkers.
But do you find that a lot of people don't even like look at what you write? Most times they're just looking at your picture. Like when I'm scrolling through Instagram, I don't look at what people write.
That's
very,
just
very rarely.
Yeah. So that's just you. But me personally, the images, I've tested it out. Images that I post without captions as opposed to images that I post with long captions, the long captions perform way better. Like there's no even room for comparison. And you would think that people aren't reading, but they are, okay? And something that also a lot of people don't know is that captions has, I think, how much? 1,200 character limits. So Instagram has it that high for a reason, right? You need to be using Instagram the way it's intended to be used. So if the developers created the character limit that long, it means they want you to write long captions. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there a limit to how many hashtags you put? Because sometimes
30.
Okay.
Yeah. 30 hashtags per image.
Sometimes you get this little thing that says too many hashtags. I just recently got that pop-up that says too many hashtags.
Yeah. You can only use 30 hashtags per photo. Yeah. And I actually don't recommend to use more.
No.
It's not going to allow you anyway. But I
I never had that message, and then I just saw that message recently. I'm like, is this something new, or have I just used so many?
Yeah, no, it's not new. You can only use 30 hashtags per photo. And I'm going to share with you a little secret. You can actually also use hashtags in your stories.
Yeah.
Use hashtags in your stories too. Okay? All right, here's another example. Curious to know, are you a dog person or a cat person? Let me know and let's play. So simple. See, and this answers your question, Paula. Your captions don't necessarily have to be long. This is literally only 3 lines, and it still gets people engaged. It still gets them hooked, and it still gets them to comment. This photo got 55 comments, which isn't bad. Okay? Who here is a cat person? Show of hands. Who here is a dog person? I have a dog. All right. Anybody have pets?
I have a rabbit.
And chickens.
And chickens. And sheep. And a dog.
Who else? What do you have? You have a dog? What's his name? Or her name?
Bailey.
Oh. What about you?
I'm not fishes.
That's so cute. What kind of fish?
Flower are, I'm more of the tropical fishes.
Uh-huh.
Me, I started.
Where do you get them from?
It's my husband's passion, and then I just got into it.
Interesting. I didn't know that there were people out there who were passionate about fish. That's interesting though. Sorry? You have fish as well?
We used to. It's
Yeah.
like a big
Aquarium? Yeah.
It's like a center table.
Yeah.
But I was like, just try it. Now we
Yeah.
got a black cat. It's a British short hair.
Yeah.
And we named him Tupaz. It's all black.
Interesting.
Tupaz, like the How to Train a Dragon movie.
I haven't
And
seen
it's
it.
yellow.
Yeah, I haven't seen
So
it.
my husband named him Tupaz.
Aw.
He
So cute.
is a little pup. He only wakes me up at 4 o'clock in the morning with a wet food.
It's not even wet food, that's like crap.
That's
Yeah.
what the told us. And he
Um,
loves wet food. He doesn't like dry food.
all right, so anyway, I just showed you a few examples of how to get people engaged. So I want you to give that a try. And just a little disclaimer. In my early days, when I started to do this, I actually got no comments at all. Okay? 0 comments. Okay? And rarely even any engagement at all. So even though this photo got 137 likes, there still wasn't engagement. People were still not interacting with me, and I just was like pulling my hair. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And here's the thing. People are not going to comment right away. You need to be doing this over and over and over again until it sticks, until you're warming up your audience, right? I want you to adopt this to the real world. Let's say Emma and I recently became good friends, right? But when we first met, we're probably a little shy around each other. We don't know each other very well, so we're not as open with one another. But then the more times we meet, the more open that we're going to become with one another. This is exactly the same strategy with Instagram, okay? Be patient. People are going to warm up to you if you give them the chance, if you are consistent, okay? So I posted this exact same image last Easter, so literally last month. It got 18 comments. So from 0 comments to 18 comments, not so bad, okay? So just be patient with it. It will stick eventually. Another way to invite engagement and interaction is through your Instagram stories, okay? And I actually recommend for you to be way more active on Instagram stories than Instagram posts or whatever it is that you're posting on Instagram. Yes?
Can you explain stories? I feel so ignorant.
Sure,
I
yeah.
on Instagram, I don't understand these stories. I don't know how to do them. I don't understand how they work.
I'll show you a few examples.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, stories, obviously, you know, they're like fleeting images. They expire in 24 hours. And this is an awesome, awesome tool in getting people to know you, the raw you, the non-curated, non-perfect, right? Because on your Instagram feed, you're posting, or you're trying at least to post the beautiful, crisp images that's going to attract people, right? But with Instagram stories, you're being more authentic, you're being more raw, you're being more yourself. So in stories, what I recommend is posting things like maybe the fast images that you do in your festivals. Those images can go up on your stories. I'm going to show you a few examples of how you can invite interactions through your stories. So one of the ways that you can do it is Instagram actually makes it super easy for you to be more interactive on your stories. So you can use to ask me a question, a little box. You guys know what that is, okay? Or the slider feature, where you can, one idea is you can possibly post images of your designs and get people to rate which designs they like best. So that's one way you can do it. Or polls by asking questions and get people to vote on specific things. So I'll show you an example right here. So when I was targeting South Asian brides, I wanted to invite South Asian brides to interact with me. So I did this little quiz that people can sort of interact and have fun with. Let's play this or that. What kind of Desi wedding do you prefer? Right, so at the top, you prefer a full design or an airy design, and people get to vote. And at the time, you click, so people either click full design or airy design.
I have time to click it? Like, I barely have time to read it, I feel.
Yeah. yeah. So you have 15 seconds. You get 15 seconds, but you can always go back to the story if you need. Basically.
Or you can just hold it down.
Or you can hold it down, exactly. Yeah, and you get to vote. Am I running out of time? Okay, all right.
You have lots of content.
Almost done.
No,
Almost done.
Sorry?
Sorry? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
She liked it.
I'm like you to be here.
Oh, you're so sweet. All right, another thing that I did, and I was very intentional with this. Remember when Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra got married? I incorporated that because it was a very popular, trendy topic at the time, and I used the hashtag, what was it, Priyanka? No, I don't.
Something.
Yeah, like Brangelina or whatever, and I used that hashtag and I hid it so that it doesn't show. But I got people to vote which couple do they think they like most, right? So that is how you get people to interact with you. And that at the very end, the very last story that I posted is, interested in booking a free bridal consultation with me? Swipe up. Okay? If you don't have the swipe up feature, was that your question?
No.
Okay.
How did you hide the hashtag?
Ooh,
Black or white?
yeah. So you just color it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought there was like some feature that
No,
you
no,
could,
no.
like put it
Just
in.
color it. That's it. Swipe up, and if you don't have the swipe up feature, that's totally fine. What you can do is, interested to book a free consultation with me? Check the link in bio. Simple as that. Okay. All right. So that is how. Yes.
So how do you get the swipe up?
You have to have 10,000 followers.
Yeah, minimum
Yeah.
10,000.
Instagram is racist. They should eliminate that. That is ridiculous. But anyway, yeah. So we talked about. Was that? Did you have another question? Or? Okay. All right. So we talked about how to be the engager. Now I'm going to talk about how to be the engaged. Again, I'm not talking about the ring on your finger. All right. So how can you be engaged? Is by you have to engage on the platform yourself, okay? The more you interact, just like I'm doing right now, right? If I'm going around the room and if I'm asking questions and if I'm being friendly, right? I'm probably gonna invite more conversation with me rather than sitting on a side and not talking to anyone and being absolutely introverted, okay? Not that there's anything wrong with being introverted, I'm just like demonstrating, okay? So here's a little exercise that I want you to do for the next 7 days. And I know this is gonna sound overwhelming, but I promise you if you break this down, oh my God, it's gonna be so impactful and it's gonna grow your Instagram page pretty quickly, okay? So I want you, once you figure out the hashtags that you're gonna be using, okay, now that you have a better understanding of what hashtags actually is gonna work and stick with you, target one hashtag for the next 7 days. So you need a pool of 30 hashtags, okay? So come up with these 30 hashtags and pick 7 hashtags and target one hashtag per day, okay? And leave 50 to 100 comments on people who are using that hashtag. Here's what this tactic does. It creates awareness of your existence. Again, it's like I'm reaching out to you. Hi, I'm Nadine. How's it going? What's your name? So nice to meet you. Okay. So that's what it does. It's like you are actually going out to a room and introducing yourself by leaving that comment on a person's photo who used that hashtag. Another thing this does is because it's human nature, they come check your profile out because they're curious. Who is this person who commented on my photo? So they come check your profile out. And this becomes a conversation starter, okay? And if they like your content, they will follow you. They will hit that follow button. This all, again, depends on those 3 seconds, if you made those 3 seconds count or not, okay? So here are the do's and don'ts. I want you to leave genuine comments. Don't copy and paste just because you feel like that's a hack. Not gonna work. And don't leave generic emojis. Also not gonna work. If anything, Instagram might think you're a bot and you don't want that, okay? So you want human connection. You want authenticity. You want genuinity. Is that a word? All right, so make sure that you leave genuine comments that are 4 words or more, okay? Look at the photo and see what you like about the photo. Like a lot of times I will say, oh my God, that's such an amazing design. You gotta teach me how to do that flower, for instance. Or, oh my God, that's such an amazing dress. Where did you get it from? Okay, be genuine. Don't post generic emojis and definitely don't copy paste all your comments. Instagram is probably gonna block you. You don't want that. All right, so test this out for a week. Do this for the next 7 days and track your numbers, okay? So here's the number that I really want you to pay attention to. When you go to your Instagram profile, you're gonna find this number at the top that lists your current profile visits. So you can open up Instagram right now. Everybody pull out your phone. Yes.
Quick question.
Yes.
I actually am on a
Personal? Yeah, so you're not gonna have this number.
Switch it to business?
Yes,
Okay.
100%, 100%, because you need these numbers, okay? So, does everybody have their phone out?
Yeah.
Okay, look at your current profile visits and write it down in your little worksheet. It's in your can you see it? If somebody can't see it, it's probably because your profile page is personal, not business. Just switch to business, okay?
What's the number?
Current profile visits.
So it's on the very top.
It's on the very top.
This, but I don't have that.
Can I come around?
If it's a business profile, it comes already.
Is there
Oh, no, on your page.
a password?
So just load it.
Yes.
If it's not showing up, just scroll down, let it load. And
You are definitely personal.
taking the heat from the projector from my
For your smart idea.
stealing heat. I'm so cool.
Oh, I see, because you don't have it. That's why.
She just did it like
All right, so everybody has their current profile visits number written down in your little notebook? Okay, awesome. Test this exercise out. Do this for the next 7 days and come back to this number and see how much you've increased. I promise you, I will swear on my grandmother's grave that it's gonna increase, okay? This is how sure I am of this tactic, okay? And you possibly can even get new followers. Again, this is all going to depend on how quickly you grab their attention, okay? If your profile visits increases, but the number of followers isn't, it's probably because you are targeting the wrong hashtags, you are not commenting on the right hashtags, your bio isn't clear enough on who you are or what you're offering, or your images and theme needs to be tighter, okay? And 7 out of 10 times is usually because of a lack of a theme, okay?
So do we go back and delete things?
No.
That don't go into that?
Don't do that, no. What I would do, because you still want the comments and the likes and the, right? You still want that engagement. You still want Instagram to recognize these numbers. What I would do is archive the photos. So basically what archiving means, do you know how Facebook, you can sort of hide specific images or people tagged images of you and you can hide those? That's exactly the same concept. Yeah, and that way you can only see it, but no one else can, but those numbers still count. Sorry?
Interesting.
Yeah. All right, so any questions so far?
I just comment about, do you think that like Instagram and Facebook will decline? Like I know Lush has gone off to social media now, and they're talking about how people are spending too much time on social media, and they're trying to figure out ways to keep people, like to get people to do other things other than social media.
Yeah. So Lush can afford to do that because they're a billion-dollar company or $1 million company. So they already have the audience. They've already leveraged the audience through social media first, right? And they can afford to do that. But for small business owners like ourselves, I would say social media is the place to be at.
But their idea is that lead by example. So what they're trying to portray to everybody now is to like say, let's say use social media less, stop spending time like that, instead of doing other things. So I don't know whether that's gonna, and some other big companies are talking about doing it. So I don't know whether that's gonna catch on, and Instagram and Facebook are gonna like fall back or.
I wouldn't think so, to be quite honest, because Instagram is on the rise. Instagram just hit 1 billion followers. Sorry, a billion Instagram users, and I don't see that growth slowing down anytime soon. But what I would say is, honestly, I have turned off all my notifications of social media and even of emails, just because, like you said, I want to be more mindful. I want to be more present in the moment. I don't want to be sucked in on Instagram or Facebook every single day. I'm not on social media for me personally. I'm on social media purely for business purposes. Like if you go to my Facebook page, you're not gonna find any images on there. But to what you said, I love that approach, to be quite honest. I try to implement that myself by being mindful of my Instagram usage. Actually, I downloaded this new app called Moments. Did anyone ever hear of it? So Moment is a pretty cool app because it actually tells you how much time you're spending on your phone. So yeah.
Instagram has like a limit now. I set mine for 1 hour.
No way!
Yeah, because I was spending like 3 hours on Instagram every day, so I was like, I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So I set it a limit to 1 hour.
That's amazing. I actually didn't know that. That actually defies like their goal, because their goal is to get more people like spend more time. So it's interesting that they did that.
There's also a new creator thing.
Yes, the content creator. Yeah, I just don't want to confuse people.
Oh,
yeah, but yes.
I think iPhone has a feature too that you can like limit the time and it like automatically just.
That's amazing. I actually didn't know that. Thanks for sharing that with me, guys.
On iPhone, you can see how much time you spend on it.
Yeah, you can also limit
you can do that too. Yeah.
You can limit like your time so like blocks the app. So you have to like unlock it with a password if you want to use it again.
We definitely need that.
Yeah, so it makes it really annoying if you want to go back on it after that.
Yes, Tarka.
I have a question about, I don't know what they're called, and I don't know if it's the same as the stories, but the little circles at the top of
the Instagram story highlights, yeah.
How can you use them?
Yes, that's an amazing question. So Instagram story highlights, I'll just brief you really quickly because that's also like a whole conversation. But basically what Instagram story highlights are is when you're posting on stories, you can actually save the stories because stories, they expire, right? But you can save them so that they live indefinitely on your feed, and I would say use them tactfully. So I use them for reviews. I use them for like reviews and testimonials. I use them for my blog, right? If I want to direct traffic to my blog, I use this Instagram story highlights for that. I use it for to showcase rides, for instance. Like other than the feed. I also add them in the highlights itself. What else? Like little tutorials. Emma, I know you actually have a demonstration of the 2- and 3-tone designs.
I actually took it down.
Really? How come?
Because I monetize it now.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
smart.
yeah,
Okay. But again, you can post like tutorials on there.
But I do have a Q&A.
Q&A.
Like general stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So or frequently asked questions.
Yeah.
So things like that.
How long are they?
You can
No,
post
sorry,
as many
I mean,
as you want.
How long in length?
You can post as many as you want. There's no limit.
It's the same thing as your story. You're just re-putting it into like.
Sorry, I mean time-wise.
15 seconds.
15 seconds.
Each story is 15 seconds, but you can you can hold down on the phone
Right.
so that you can like look at it for longer. Yeah. All right. So, any question before the recap?
Oh,
yes.
Can I ask you about like verification?
Verification.
Yeah, how do I do it?
You have to apply.
You have to apply,
I have.
and they didn't respond. Yeah, Instagram service is the
It takes a
worst.
bit of time.
Sorry, you had something to say?
So it's like that blue check mark.
Yeah,
So-
like the real Donald Trump.
It's
Yeah.
like
Which just verifies that you're the real
yeah.
business.
So like
Or you're,
for me, a lot of people steal my art and my pictures, so I don't want people to like follow the wrong person, basically.
yeah.
Or somebody
Especially-
take dummy account.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah, especially less. I have like larger numbers, so people are noticing. I think it's in like the settings.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
In
go.
your
it's
account.
like request
I
verification.
wouldn't worry about that because we're still small business owners. Usually bigger accounts like Emma's account or maybe Henna by Divya. She is verified. Okay. Yeah. So, but I wouldn't worry about it, to be quite honest. It's not that important. Not to say that your question was important.
No.
Alright. Okay. So, recap right here is I want you to stop obsessing about getting followers because followers do not matter. What matters, you guys?
Engagement.
Thank you. All right, so focus on your engagement. Get people to interact, to comment, to just interact with you in general. Identify who your target audience is. Who is your dream customer? Look at that little sheet and resound it over and over and over again. And make sure that you are serving that client and that client only. Okay? Strengthen your bio by identifying where you're based, what your name is, what you're offering, and make sure to have a little call to action of where your link directs to. And be very intentional and strategic with the hashtags that you're using. Again, you can download the hashtags guide on the website. Have a strong theme and only post quality photos. Take some time to style your shots. Be the engager and the engaged on the platform. Okay? And if you want me to tell you step by step what to do, what to post for 5 days, I actually have a free 5-day Instagram challenge that you can sign up for. And you can find it at this link. It's also in your little worksheets or your booklets as well. And I actually did this challenge last year. Did anyone participate in it? Yeah. How did you feel about it?
I loved it.
Yeah?
Yeah, the
Good, good.
engagement level went up. Definitely.
That's good. And this time around, I actually have this little thing where not only can you sign up through email, you can also get the updates through Facebook Messenger.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so if you're not a person who checks your email all that often, you can sign up for Facebook Messenger, and I will show you exactly how you can boost your engagement through this little challenge. So I hope I see you guys there. Do you mind if I just post a little story really quickly? All
Can
right.
I just ask you to go back one slide? Just
Yeah.
grab a
There's two people who
picture.
don't want to be in.
Sure.
So if you guys just want to
You don't want to
step
be, right?
out a little bit or go to the back. If you want to
Just
go to
on
the
the
back,
side.
then
Yeah, right
So
there.
I think they were okay with just being in the foreground, like in the background there. Just not
Sorry,
like
Nadine,
all
can I
of
just
it.
ask you to scroll up because I
Yeah.
didn't get the last 2 points and I just want to.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I just want to have the. I know we have the book. But I just want the recap.
By the way, I actually needed to mention this earlier. I needed to mention this to you. I mistakenly sent Atia the wrong file. It wasn't the final draft. So in your pages, it's still the right information and everything. But in your pages, the second page should actually be the last page. Okay. So just be aware of that. Okay. All right. Are you guys ready? So we're at Henna Hangout, and we just learned that Instagram is a social media app because we gotta be engaged. Yes! Awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And if you have any questions, just, email me or DM me on Instagram. I'm super receptive. Okay? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.